Evening folks, evening, welcome back to the channel. Let me just make sure that's working. Yep, that's working good. So we are back tonight with MRCs GTTCC, or the Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship as it's more familiarly known, but GTTCC is, well, although it's a little bit of a mouthful, it's a bit easy in saying Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship. So we're back for round 3 tonight. 2 races, half an hour races for each. We've got Dragon Trail Gardens, which looks like it's tipping it down, and Suzuka after that. So they do have to use 2 different cars. So it's a front engine, front wheel drive for race 1, and it's a mid rear for race 2, or mid 4, I think, mid engine 4-wheel drive. Not 100% sure. But it is about to get underway. Let me remember how to turn that off. Come on, get with it, smoker. What have you done with that? I need to turn that on. Okay, so we need to look at points. So it is Dark Clark leading the way then with 106 points. We've got rd3 GTR in second with 83 points. Right behind him is Hirakram in third with 82 points. Fourth is Donkey Chong with 79 points. Fifth is JRC 87 with 70 points. We've got 67 points on board for Fat Pickles Bro in 6th. T50 Phil is 7th with 55 points. We've got 46 points on board for P Gib in 8th. GTP Toby has got himself, well, there's a few drivers with 42 points. What have we got? So 9th position, we've got 1, 2, 3 drivers, GTP Toby, Golden Brownie and LFC Fan, all on 42 points. And then we jump straight down to 12th here with Mutt36. He's got 30 points. 13th for Janio, he has got himself 17 points. I'll explain the red marks in a second. Marshall 2012 has got himself 2 points, or minus 2 points, apologies. And Faithless Emo also has a minus score. So that is driven by, if you notice, the cars have got little red marks around them. So they have opted to change car halfway through the season. Unfortunately for them, that means a massive great deduction of points. And as you can see, as some of the drivers have chosen to change both cars, they end up with less points than they started with. So still plenty to work for them. So that's coming into round 3 tonight. Again, we'll get into the lobby. It is absolutely tipping it down. Stickers still available, people. Hit me up, darksmoker at googlemail.com if you want any of those. Evening. How are we all doing? I seem to be lacking a light. That'd be better. Right, what am I looking at here? Why have I got 2 things running? That's what I want. I want one of those. Hold on. One of those. One of those, I think. Come on, get it running. So qualifying looks like it's already underway. So we'll get ourselves in. Turn some nonsense on. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting something? Something doesn't look right. So we've already got 2 laps out the way. We've got Dark Clark on pole currently in the Audi TT. Donkey Chong in the little Suzuki Swift. 151 on board for him. JRC Racing in 3rd, another Audi TT. We've got Hirakram in 4th, Audi TT. LFC Fan in 5th, the Volkswagen Sirocco. Sweaty Keg in another Sirocco. Janio in Mazda. He's already found himself with a little bit of a penalty. Easy done here in the wet. Another Audi TT for GTP Toby sitting in 8th. Rick 33 and another Volkswagen Sirocco. 36 Volkswagen Sirocco. Marshall in the Hyundai. T50 Phil in another Suzuki Swift. Faithless Emo is, what car is that? It's just, is that the Hyundai? Yes it is, I couldn't quite see the badge. You in Audi TT last week I think. P Gibb still with the Jag. And Golden Brownie in another Volkswagen. Yeah, chucking it down here. So they're obviously going to be on wets or inters, but it does look like full wet weather here. Alright, let me put my chats on. The old live chat running, make sure that's live. How are we all doing tonight then, people? Alright, I hope. Just if you're watching via the vertical or the normal, just let me know, tell me it's coming through alright, you can hear it, see it, that sort of thing. Obviously I can't do much in terms of size for the vertical. Can't do much in terms of size for the normal one, to be honest. Hirakram has sneaking through then to take pole position off of Dark Clark for the time being, but not by much. 1:57.98 on the clock for him. So Donkey Chung gets pushed down to 3rd. Faithless Emo now 4th. Finds a little bit of time in that Hyundai. LFC fan 5th, but with a penalty. JRC Racing 6th currently on the grid. Mutt 36 7th, GTP Toby in 8th, got Sweaty Keg in 9th, Rick 33 10th, Golden Brownie in 11th, Janio 12th, T50 Phil 13th, P Gibb 14th and Marshall 15th as it stands. Still got a few minutes left of qualifying. And this time is not unbeatable. He's only got just over 1/10 of a second lead over Dark Clark. Can anybody else put the pressure on these two? Donkey Chong's looked a little bit tasty in the Suzuki Swift. We'll see what Faithless Emo's like this week in the Hyundai as he tries to keep it on track through there. Let's do a little bit of a lap on board then with Faithless, shall we? That's what he's opted for. The Tajiwa liveried as per normal. So into turn 1 then, big sweeping left-hander. Again, you can hear they're just having to back off the throttle through there with the wet conditions. Curbs might be an issue as well in these wet conditions. Into the first chicane then. Tricky. Big curves on the inside of the last two parts of this one. Get it right, it saves you a lot of time. Get it wrong and it could be a trip into the wall. Bit of a straight then. You can have a bit of an attack down here. Obviously in these wet conditions you've got to make sure you get your braking right. You don't want to be stamping on the brakes as you come down to this hairpin. End up going straight on into that wall. Excuse me. Out of that hairpin through the little set of S's. It's almost a chicane but not quite. It's just a left into a right into a sharper left, and then we hit what I like to call the Pentagon. It's not a full Pentagon, but it may as well be. So 1 corner, 2 corners, 3 corners, 4 corners, and if you had 1 more it would reach back round to itself and become the Pentagon. So back up this short little straight as well. Again, opportunities to attack here coming up to the double left-hander at the top. Again, you've got to be right though. Just pushing out wide there for majority of those drivers, and then back on the throttle onto this start-finish straight, and that is a lap of Dragon Trail Gardens. Dark Clark has retaken that top spot by less than 1/10 of a second, so still all to play for, although they've got 10 seconds left. So once they've finished this lap, that is it. It's Donkey Chong that's come through to stomp it at the minute. Sitting on top spot 150.284. The Audis have looked quick for the first part. We'll see. Looks like Dark Clark's done with qualifying. Quite content with second by the looks of things. Hirokram third currently, still at race pace by the looks of it. Trying to get that Audi up the grid. 1 or 2 more spaces, please. Faithless Emo, again, new car for him tonight. Not sure how much practice he's had in that. If you want to go and check out his POV, in fact, I should have spoken to you about that this afternoon, Tino. Faithless Emo is streaming his race live from his perspective, so you'll see him either like this, or maybe like this, or maybe like this, and he'll be driving his own race, obviously from his perspective. But keep up with the rest of the drivers here. We'll have to figure out a way how because I know we can link the stream somehow, but I've not looked into it or how to do it. So at some point, mate, we'll figure that one out so we can push each other a little bit. So that's qualifying done. Let's just see where everyone ends up once they cross this line. It is still this man on pole position, the Chong of the Donks. You can tell that by what he's got on the bonnet there. It's a Chong in donkey, funnily enough. There he is. Turn your lights off, Donks. I don't know if you can quite see that, can you? Maybe a slightly better view from without the headlights blasting in your face. It's a donkey with green eyes. So that is, just looking at the little mini map, that is everybody across the line. It is Donkey Chong on pole position for race 1. Oh, we're not going to get to see that. There he is, Donkey Chong on the top spot, 150.284. Dark Clark in second then, 153.64, nipping his heels. Hirokram third, Faithless Emo fourth, got LFC Fan in fifth, GTP Toby in sixth, JRC Race in seventh, P Gibbet in eighth. We've got Mut 36 in ninth, Sweaty Keg 10th, Janio 11th, T50 Phil in 12th, Rick 33 in 13th, Golden Brownie 14th, and Marshall 2012 in 15th. That is grid order for race 1. I'm not sure what time they're going to kick this one off. So how do I make this do what I want to do? Come on. I'm just going to have to make you full screen, aren't I think. Someone's nicked me chat. Okay, let's pull that one up as well. There we go. That's more like it. Chats. Good. There they are. How you doing, John Everon? Low light evening. Well, you're just in time, as I've missed the start because I'm chatting to you lot. So race 1 underway then. Donkey Chong's lost that lead off the line. The Audi's quick off the mark. Down into turn 1 early. So it is Dark Clark that's sneaking through to take top spots. It's not sneaking, it's snook, but I like sneaking. Hirokram is into second place. Oh, as a Donkey Chong has a little bit of an attack up the inside there, but he'll be on the outside for this next turn and drops behind. What? Where did Faithless Emo come from? Did you go around the outside? So you did go around the outside of Hirokram at the chicane, you absolute brute. Into second for him then in the Hyundai. Again, first race in that one tonight for Hirokram. For Faithless. Hirokram third, Donkey Chong in that fourth position. GTP Toby now trying to come around the outside of him. Hopefully the lobbies are a bit cleaner tonight. They've been absolutely disgusting over the last few weeks. P Gib in sixth then, JRC Racing. Come on camera, show me where they are. There he is in another Audi TT. Being pushed along by LFC Fan right behind him. Janio in 9th, Sweaty Keg 10th, Mutt in 11th. Golden Brownie in 12th. Ooh, T50 Phil 13th. Marshall in... Oh, did What happened there? You were way ahead in the Hyundai then, Marshall, and then all of a sudden rd3 got past you. Not too sure, but down to 15th then. Oh, look at this from Dark Clark already. Bothered about the rain. Bothered about the rain. I will grab myself 2.2 seconds lead in the first lap. Thank you very much. Capybara, alright. Don't laugh, alright? That's what happens when you're not as professional as you should be. Under threat then, Faithless Emo got two Audis harassing him. Hirokram one side, GTP Toby the other, although Hirokram has found himself with a half a second penalty, so he's, well, driving like that's not going to help. Sticking nearly all four wheels on the grass. Oh, gets pushed out wide there as well. Oh, it manages to hold on to it. Come on, camera. Oh, we've still got a little bit of glitching going on then. Toby and Hirokram side by side through the chicane. Toby actually gains the position. Into third he goes then. Hirokram drops to fourth. Faithless Emo hangs on to that second, and the whole time we've been watching this, Dark Clark is still just disappearing up the road. It was 3 seconds. It just drops to 2.9, but he's still pulling away. Battle properly underway here now then. We've got Faithless Emo in second, GTP Toby third, Donkey Chong's come out of nowhere for fourth position. Hirokram in fifth now, but with that half a second penalty. JLC Racing trying to catch up with those drivers in front. Dragon LFC fan and Janio along with him. Little battle side by side there for Phil and Golden Brownie. Lucky to get through there cleanly side by side, especially in these conditions. Oh, great bit of driving. Oh, a little bit of contact. Wet tyres just hooking up though. Sweaty Keg watched those battle and thought, nah, I'm going to have a go. So we're now 3 wide coming up to the double left-hander at the top. Was that T50 Phil came out of nowhere? Come on, catch up with him. Where is he? There he is. Came out of nowhere, slotted one up the inside of Golden Brownie. As did Sweaty Keg, forced his way through that field. Everyone snaking across the track, looking for that slipstream then. Side by side still for T50 Phil and Golden Brownie. Just gets out ahead T50 Phil. Marshall in 12th then, Mutt drops to 13th, P-Gib 14th, and rd3 swaps positions with him again down to 15th. Still all on the same piece of track though, apart from this man, who's now got 4.2 seconds lead. Toby now into that second position. Donkey Chong's just managed to get up the inside of Faithless Emo as well. Oh my god, the glitching's still there. Faithless Emo now finds himself with a half a second penalty. Hirokram, we must have lost that and then picked it up again. Taking shortcuts on some of the corners probably. JLC Racing still 6th, still got a few drivers chasing him down. NFC fan and Janio still tucked under his rear wing. Sweaty Keg, he's pulled away from that bunch behind him, slowly closing up on Janio. Can T50 Phil do the same thing? He's managed to pull a little bit of a gap as well between himself and Golden Brownie. Marshall finds himself with a half a second penalty behind him. And again, everyone snakes into position, looking for that slipstream up these straights. Not that you'll get much of slipstream off of T50 Phil. His car is probably one of the slimmest I've seen in this game. Back onto the start-finish straight again then. All in a line down towards turn 1. Dark Clark not making any mistakes in these wet conditions. Looking like it's going to be wet for the whole race. Avoiding those curbs. It's the slightly longer way around the circuit, but it is certainly the safest way around this circuit. Toby's now found himself with a half a second penalty. I think a lot of these drivers are either picking it up through turn 1 with a big long sweeping left, which just causes them to push out wide a little bit on the outside edge. coming in far too hot as Donkey Chong looks to take that second off. Oh, switches across the back of GTP Toby there. Both drivers pulled away a little bit from Faithless Emo. He's in fourth, still being harassed by Hirakram, who hasn't got a penalty now. Managed to drop that somewhere. Faithless Emo just making that Hyundai as wide as he possibly can. Fend off at Hirakram. Hold on to that fourth. There is JRC, just 1.2 seconds behind, so if they keep battling, he might be able to close that gap up. LFC Fan in 7th. Sweaty Keg now tucked onto the rear end of him. Janio's through to 9th, ahead of T50 Phil. Those two have pulled away from Marshall, Golden Brownie and rd3 here as well. Oh, and 36 and P Gibb. These boys having a good old fight at the back. So Marshall loses that penalty. So if you're wondering why you're not seeing cars spinning out here in the rain, it's because they are front wheel drive. Now if it rains in race 2, it could be a whole different ball game. It's mid-rears for race 2, so mid-engine or front engine rear wheel drive. There's those big curbs. Dark Clark avoiding those. Toby holding on to that second position, still being harassed by Donkey Chong. Oh, Donkey gets some fantastic drive out of there. Little Suzuki Swift making its presence known here in the GTTCC. Going for the outbraking around the outside, Toby. Switch back up the inside. Will it work? Can he get the power down? No, he can't. Has to slot back into 3rd position. I think the short wheelbase of the Suzuki Swift maybe just benefiting here in the rain. Don't get me wrong, it's not benefiting either of them versus this man. Now 5.3 seconds up the road, nearly 9 minutes into race 1 here. Donkey Chong through to 2nd. Toby 3rd. So still getting a slipstream up here as well is Toby, so he will get pulled along a little bit. Hirakram's managed to make his way back through the field. Into 4th he goes. Faithless Emo just loses his penalty down there. He drops back down to 5th position. JRC Racing has pulled himself onto the back end of this group now. Tucked under Faithless's rear wing as they hit the start-finish straight. He'll get a good drive down here. Just jump on board with Faithless. No slipstream for Faithless. So you should see the Audi slowly but surely close up. Will he go for the move before turn 1? Faithless sees it coming. Puts his car in the middle of the circuit. Now can the Audi make the room up the inside? No, it can't. Hyundai holds on to that 5th. JRC Racing in the Audi stays in 6th for the time being. Sweaty Keg 7th, then Janio in 8th. T50 Phil in 9th in the other Suzuki Swift. LFC Fan in 10th. Some wobbles going on there. LFC Fan just managing to keep it on track. Golden Brownie getting past him though. He's got the inside line coming into this hairpin. Both closing up on T50 Phil. I think he got it. Oof, LFC Fan slots one back up the inside. Can he get it done under braking? Can. Up the inside. Gets the power down well as well. Golden Brownie not able to get back at him for that one. 33 12th then. 36 in 13th. So the gaps starting to open up at the back as well now. They are all pretty close together, not quite as close as they were. Marshall then 14th. P. Gibb, unfortunately. Oh, he's off track again through there. Struggling the Jaguar here tonight. 11.2 seconds behind the pack now. Big car, the Jag, heavy thing. Maybe not quite getting on so well in these wet conditions. Clark's still leads then. Pulling a little bit more time. 5.7 seconds lead Got to say, it's a great bit of driving in this weather to pull that kind of time as well. Donkey Chong now kind of out on his own. Again, 5.7 seconds behind Dark Clock, but now with a 1.8 second lead over GTP Toby. So that leaves him with nobody gaining a slipstream off of him. Hirokram actually closing back up on GTP Toby here as well. Just outside that slipstream range on this straight. Sheriff 2908, evening. How you doing? Welcome to the show. JRC Racing goes a little bit deep through the hairpin. He has Faithless Emo. You must have picked up another penalty here, Faithless, because you were 5th a second ago. Been harassed by JRC, and now JRC's got past, and Sweaty Keg's giving you a bit of a leather in here. Volkswagen now got the inside line coming into this next turn. Oh, apologies, I was at the wrong part of the circuit. The rain catching me out. Through the pentagonal section. Hyundai still leads with Sweaty Keg right up his rear end. A little bit of a slipstream up this straight as well. Faithless looking for as much of a slipstream as possible from the drivers in front, which he gets a tiny little bit from JRC. Starting to feather the throttle through these turns, not lighting the tyres up. Again, another good exit. Is he going to go for the move? Volkswagen versus Hyundai down the straight then, inside line for the Volkswagen. Hyundai, Faithless Emo, trying to hold it as best he can, but we're coming into the chicane, which also gives Sweaty Keg, I was going to say, it gives Sweaty Keg the inside line, but Faithless Emo tries to drive around the outside. Gets the second part of the apex, not the third though. That does fall to Sweaty Keg, but he does get a slightly better exit. It's closing up. Sweaty Keg's hugging this inside line down towards the hairpin though. Goes for the racing line to just as he comes into the apex. Faithless Emo sees that, switches to the inside, gets that position back off him. And here we go again, Sweaty Keg with a good drive out. Has another run at Faithless down here. Let me change that camera up a little bit. Had to back off through there though, just heading down towards that pentagon section again. I could swap positions pretty much every corner. Janio's tucked onto the rear end of this fight now as well. He's found himself with a penalty though, Janio. He'll have to lose that this next little straight before the double hairpin. T50 Phil has also found himself with a penalty. He'll have to lose that coming around this pentagon as well. There you go, the 2 yellow markers. That's where you lose your penalty up that straight. Well, I'm streaming. I'm commentating is what I'm doing. Not 36 then. Close back up on Golden Brownie. Rick 33 as well. In 10th, just in front of him. LFC fan 13th, Marshall. Oh, he's got another penalty. He's coming in the pits. Mandatory pit stop underway then. P. Gibb. A long way down, unfortunately. 8.5 seconds. He will take that position off of Marshall, but he's got to take a pit stop. Although they don't need to change tyres, it is a mandatory stop just to make it fair for everyone, so strategy is not a thing. This man just making the wet weather look easy here. Out of the hairpin. Into the left, down towards the right. The rain just not affecting him at all in these, with the full wets on for sure. Donkey Chung as well doing alright. He's pulled a little bit more time from GTP Toby. Toby's managed to hold his own for 3rd. Hirokram's not managed to get past him. Closed up a little bit, but only half a second in the last couple of laps. JLC Racing unfortunately falls off the back of those boys. Janio through to 6th then. Loses that penalty. Sweaty Keg now 7th. Faithless Emo 8th. It's getting worse for him tonight. T50 Phil now tucked onto the back end of this fight in the Suzuki Swift. rd3 still 10th. He's managed to pull himself a little bit of a gap from the drivers behind. 1.2 seconds back to Golden Brownie then. LFC fan Mutt 36 to Sirocco's side by side. Mutt 36 goes a little bit deep through there. Might benefit him on the exit if he can get the power down. Side by side again then for these two. And it does benefit him on the exit of that turn. Yeah, still got glitchy lobbies though by the sounds of it. Who is going to come out on top between these two? Mutt 36 just gets in front. LFC fan thinks about sticking one up the inside there. Could have ended up disastrously for both of them. But they both come through reasonably cleanly. P. Gibb then in 14th. Marshall, released from the pits, decides not to go for the full wets this time and sticks on a set of intermediate tyres. So they won't be quite as grippy in these wet conditions. And it's not as if you need to worry about the tyre wear in these wet conditions. You just literally won't see any. Still holding the 6 seconds and Dark Clark. No mistakes for him just yet. Donkey Chong as well. Just comfortable rolling about in that second position. Plenty of time behind him now. 2.5 seconds, nearly 2.6 to GTP Toby. He's a long way off of Dark Clark, 6.1 seconds. Let's just jump on board and see if we can actually see him. Around this corner. Oh, just see him. Yeah, just see a little tiny silhouette in the distance. Being chased by the helicopter, look. Won't give me that helicopter view though, will it? That's what I want. So he's doing alright there, Dark Clark. Again, same for Donkey Chong. Toby staying at that 2.5 second mark behind Donkey Chong. Hirokram yo-yoing a little bit between, it's kind of between half a second and a second that time's jumping between. Right, weather catching him out. He's had a few penalties tonight as well, Hirokram. There we go, JRC Racing just picking himself up a penalty there. Four wheels off the track, little bit of damage on Janio's car. He's been squeezing his way through gaps he shouldn't maybe. Sitting in 6th at the minute. Sweaty Keg looking to get the cut back on the exit of the hairpin, but Janio's car is in the way. Faithless Emo takes the wider routes. Can't get the power down to chase these two down or get a move. He's going to have to wait for a few more corners. I think T50 Phil then in 9th. rd3 in 10th, Golden Brownie 11th, Mutt in 12th, LFC fan falls off the back of him now in 13th, P. Gibbs still 11.8 seconds down, and Marshall 2012. Fresh tyres on, but he's got the inters, and I can't see those being anywhere near as grippy as the wets in these conditions. Still not stopping for Dark Clark then. Donkey Chong not opting for a stop yet. It is mandatory pit stops, isn't it? Toby holding 3rd. Hirokram again just yo-yoing behind him to that 2nd. JLC Racing another 5 seconds down. It's going to be a tall order to close that gap down on those drivers in front. These boys definitely look like they're going to still get into it though at some point. Got Sweaty Keg right up the rear end of Janio. Again, Faithless Emo not too far off the back of these two. T50 Phil just over a second behind. Rick 33 just a second behind. 36 just a second behind. So the tiniest of tiniest mistakes is going to allow any of these drivers to make a position up or two. Well, maybe except P. Gibb and Marshall currently. And obviously this man, he can't make up many more places, can he? making that wet weather look easy tonight, Dark Clark. Oh, he's lost a couple of tenths. No, nobody cares. Nobody cares that he's lost a couple of tenths, because he'll just make it back up later on. Again, Donkey Chong just holding his own in that Suzuki Swift. Not losing any more time to Dark Clark, but obviously he's not gaining any more time. Toby and Hirokram again loses a little bit more time there. Hirokram. It's kind of as we were. Sweaty Keg has made the move. He's managed to get himself past Janio. Faithless still 8th. T50 Phil still 9th. Rick 33 10th. Mutt 11th, Golden Brownie 12th, NFC Fan 13th. Yeah, not too much movement. Again, that pack near the back could easily have a good old punch up before the end of this race. We'll see though. Dark Clark, again, just easy for him at the minute. 7 minutes remaining of race 1. Then we jump into reverse grid race 2. That's live from Suzuka, but they do have to choose a different car. They have to have a mid-engine rear-wheel drive, or is it a front-engine rear-wheel drive, or a mid-engine four-wheel drive? I forget the full criteria. I'm struggling a little bit here to keep up with Toby. JLC Racing pulls a little bit of time back on him. Not a lot though. Sweaty Keg starts pulling time on the drivers behind. Janio now got a mirror full of Faithless Emo. Oh, T50 Phil's found himself with another penalty. He'll have to lose that along this straight now. Does lose that. You can see Rick 33 closing up on him rapidly, coming up to the double left-hander. Just manages to hold on to that position, I think. Does Rick 33, not able to sweep around the outside. T50 Phil stays in 9th though, but Rick 33 gets a good exit out of there. Has a little look at the Suzuki Swift as we head down the start-finish straight. There is a very, very faint dry line appearing. See the slightly darker part of the circuit, so the track is actually drying out here. Marshall's change of tyre to an Inter. Oof. Where were you going, T50 Phil? Getting the chicane all wrong through there. He loses 3 positions, 2.5 positions. He's lost that position to Rick 33. He's lost it to Mutt. He's almost lost that to Golden Brownie here. Golden Brownie's got the inside line coming into the chicane, sorry, the hairpin as well. And he does get through. Loses 3 places then, T50 Phil, with that mistake. Yeah, you certainly can see that dry line now. So you will start to see the wet tyres and the Inters heating up. You might see drivers, even at this late stage in the race, or maybe not so much at this late stage in the race. There's still plenty of life left in those wet tyres. But they will wear out very, very quickly in these conditions. Now it's drying out a bit. Clark peels over to the wet side of the track. You can see them all peeling over to that wet side of the track just to try and keep their tyres cool for these last 4 minutes. They don't want to go, oh, the rain's coming down again now. The track will wetten itself back up then. Wet tyres will come back into effect. And the Inters obviously not so much. Toby in 3rd, Hirokram fourth, falls a little bit further back again, 2.2 seconds behind him. JRC Racing in fifth still. Sweaty Keg sixth, kind of out on his own. Faithless Emo makes a position, he's into seventh. rd3 is in eighth, Janio ninth. 36 in 10th, Golden Brownie 11th, there's T50 Phil after losing all those positions, P Gibb in 13th and Marshall 14th. Have we lost a driver? Why do I feel like we've lost a driver? Maybe a driver down. Is it? No, P Gibb, T50 Phil, no, who's missing? I feel like somebody's missing. Dark Clark then. Start to see that little line of red turn up on the wet tyres, but again that shouldn't move anywhere else now. The rain's coming back down again and the track's absolutely soaking wet. Well, they're still opting to peel over to that slightly wetter side of the circuit. Can slightly tell the difference between those two. His lead is coming down. We've got 2 minutes just over, and that 6-second lead has come down to 3.8, so it could just be strategic on Dark Clark's point. Maybe he doesn't need to go full throttle and risk himself spinning out if he's got all that time to play with. Maybe he can just coast and lift into some of these turns, not try and spin these tyres up. Just got to be careful that Donkey Chong doesn't come for an absolute charge and take that position off him. He's got a long way to go yet though. 1.5 minutes, so they will see another lap after this one. That time still coming down. 3 seconds-ish. 3 seconds-ish. Visibly closer on screen now than Donkey. Hovering about that 3-second mark now. He's pulled a little bit more time over GTP Toby. Toby's done the same thing to Hirokram. So they're all sitting about 3 seconds then up to fourth. It's 5 seconds back to JRC. Another 3 seconds back to Sweaty Keg. 5.5 back to Faithless. 1.4 back to rd3 as he almost drives it off track. But 36 is tucked under his rear wing in 9th. Less than half a second back for T50 Phil. About half a second back for Golden Brownie. 1.5 back for Janio, so he's been yo-yoing up and down the field all evening. P Gibb 13th and Marshall 14th. So did come in and drop those inters on, but unfortunately for him the rain came back. So 20 seconds left on the race timer. This will be the last lap for everybody. I think we've got 1 or 2 more drivers. Oh no, we've got maybe 1 driver that might not see it, maybe 2. Okay, so we have got some finishes already. P Gibb just crosses the line, so he's going to finish in 13th. Doesn't get to see that extra lap, and Marshall will take 14th. And we just wait for everybody else then. Dark Clark still leads. That big chunk of time though drops to 2.3 seconds. Again, still plenty of time to play with. Donkey Chong's not going to be able to press that Suzuki Swift to make up that time. Not without a mistake from Dark Clark, and as we've seen from the rest of the racing tonight, he's not really put a foot wrong. 2 corners to go then for Dark Clark, and he does take the win here in race 1. More points on the board for him. Already leading the championship, Dark Clark. Yeah, lobby's still a bit glitchy, aren't they? Not quite as clean as they have been in the past. I've got to admit they're better than they were for the last week or so. There it is, Dark Clark then taking the win in race 1. Deservedly so as well. Great drive by Donkey Chong to try and chase him down, but wasn't to be for race 1. Toby taking 3rd. Hirokram will come home to take 4th position. Got JRC coming home in 5th. Sweaty Keg actually closing up on him a little bit before the end of that one. 6th place for him. Faithless Emo is just about to take 7th. He does just stay ahead. T50 Phil comes home in 8th. Mutt 36 in 9th. rd3 10th. Golden Brownie 11th. Janio 12th. And we've already seen P. Gibb and Marshall cross the line. There we go. Race 1 done and dusted. So got to get myself a new chair. There he is on the podium again. Dark Clark 92. Top points for him. There we go. So race 2 coming up. There are official results then. Dark Clark on the top spot. Donkey Chong 2nd. Toby in 3rd. Hirokram 4th. JRC Racing 5th. Sweaty Keg 6th. Faithless Emo 7th. T50 Phil in 8th. Got Mutt 36. Yeah, I thought we had a DNF. Mutt 36 in 9th. 10th was rd3. Golden Brownie 11th. Janio 12th. P. Gibb 13th. Marshall 14th. And LFC Fan DNF'd. Has he stuck around though? Is he still in the lobby? No. No, he's not. LFC Fan has left the building. So we do change to Suzuka now. Again, same format, half an hour. They apologies. Yeah, it's not a mandatory pit stop because the weather came down. That's right. GT Blaze 24. Oi, mate, long time. Forget to change my name. Oh, it's Deli B. Evening, Deli B. How you doing, bro? How you doing? All right. Good, I hope. The GT of the Deli B. What were you before GT Deli B? You had another name, which I actually like better than Deli B, but we won't go there. Ooh. Ooh. Might still be seeing rain then at Suzuka. So yes, apologies. I think I did tell you a lot that they had to have mandatory pit stops, but if it's raining or the rain comes down at any point throughout the race, all pit strategies go out the window and it's pretty much do what you want. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, so we go into race 2. It is live from Suzuka. Looks like the weather's still going to be playing its part here as well. And they do have to change car, so it was a front engine front wheel drive for race 1, and then I did just see something about restarting the lobby, so we'll have a look. Hopefully it's a bit cleaner. Yeah, but now my screen's black. We've full on broken it, peeps. Come on. Not turned my telly off, have I? No, my telly's still on. Well, PlayStation. Coalition Soldier. There he is. There he is. Yeah, you see we'll like that one better. Have I got to restart my PlayStation? Well, it's on, but it's not happy. Circle's not working. Nothing's working. All right. God damn it. Thanks for the update, PlayStation. Cheers, mate. Well. That's not a good look either. are you trying to do, PlayStation? Well, I think not only is the lobby crashed, mate, GT's broke. Hey, oh, it's that, I think. Oh, it had a little bit of a brain fart and now it's come back. Well, there you go. I was just about to suggest that I thought Godzilla had maybe made his move again. Maybe. It's still not happy though. Look how long it's taking. Damn. Well, we'll just sit and have a chat, boys. We don't talk about things are happening. I tell you, it ain't. It's not good, is what it is. Everything about it is slow. Don't like seeing that thing ticking over in the corner. Look. So slow. Okay, so yeah, still raining. Yeah, tire wear. Yeah, fuel depletion. Yeah, don't think anyone cares. Nothing special about this one. So it is live from Suzuka. Again, weather looks decent now, but it might not stay like that. Hopefully. Have we got everybody in the room? We're still missing one, I think. I know we lost LFC fan. Why does it hurt my brain? Is it Hirocram? No, there's Hirocram. Dark Clark's in the house. Donkey Chong. Pete Gibb. Yeah, Pete Gibb. Golden Brownie Marshall. Yeah. Who am I not seeing? Sweaty Gay Janio. There's no Janio. Where's Janio? Come on. Well, there you go. PlayStation. Sort you know what out. Yeah, that was a bit more than a lobby crash, that was. Maybe they've got earthquakes or something happening over there in Japan. Who knows? But you're going to see plenty of these on track tonight. The old Citroen spaceship. It's the biggest, widest, most bonkers car you've ever seen. Okay, waiting on two drivers then. That's the interior of this thing. Spaceship-like. Just needs laser guns, I think. Look, 36 opting for a normal, sensible car. Look, Genesis. Donkey Chong has gone for the Alpha 4C. Found himself with a little half-a-second penalty in this practice mode. Another Genesis for Sweaty Keg. We've got Hirocram in another spaceship. Spaceship for rd3. Genesis for T50 Phil. Toby in another Alpha 4C. Spaceship for Marshall. Spaceship for Dark Clark. Brownie. Oh, he's in the 4C. And then P. Gibb, he's in the McLaren. Yeah, LFC rage quit, it says on there. I wouldn't have said that. I would have blamed the lobby. and been all neutral about it. Who did he rage quit over? Who smashed him into the barriers? Right, that's oh no, still waiting for Janio. Is that him just joining the lobby? Yeah, it's got to be him, isn't it? And it's there he is, Janio. He's in the house, but again, he must have taken. I bet he's had to restart his PlayStation as well. All in panic, like I was, that the whole game had broken. Weird to see that screen just go black like that. No spinning GT signals, symbols, or anything. And I've never seen it rotate like that. I don't even think I've seen that one in the middle when I powered it back on. So who knows? Maybe my PlayStation's full of spiders or something. Coke Zero? I don't think so. We're like full fat with a little dose of whiskey in this house. So decent circuit, Suzuka. There's plenty of different types of corners and undulations, and there's a little bit of a figure of 8. And there you go, as we just see the bridge section. A couple of hairpins to completely get wrong. The final corner as well, which also catches a few drivers out. Absolutely full tilt, hard on the brakes. It's one of the toughest chicanes on the program, really. Becomes very tight through there. Easy to get it wrong, especially if you're very close to drivers. Why is that stream 4 hours behind? Who knows? So that's everybody in the room. We are just waiting for lobby host rd3 to figure out where everybody finished before we had to kill the lobby, so he can stick everyone in the right position on the grid for race 2. So you will see Dark Clark at the back. Who ended up last in that one? It was Marshall, I believe, but I'm not sure where they're going to shove LFC Fan. Obviously, rage quitting. Can't put him at the front, even though he would have finished last, if you like, in race 2. He's probably going to end up at the back of the pack, I would have thought. No guarantee. Where are the spectators going? Oi, come back. There's a race to do. Gonna miss some sideways action from these boys. So they have changed car, as you've noticed. These are mid-engine or front-engine rear-wheel drives. But here we go. There's a world of hurt. Not talking to you lot because you made me miss the start of the last race, didn't you? So no, I'm not talking to you lot now. So Marshall up the front then, Pete Gibb second, the lights go on. Decent start by everybody, no false starts. The big spaceship puts on its warp drive, heading down towards turn 1. Long sweeping right-hander. Holds on to that lead through there. The second of the spaceships, Janio, gets through. P. Gibbs slots into 3rd position in that Alpha. Sorry, in the McLaren. I was looking at the Alpha behind him. Golden Brownie in 4th. rd3 in a spaceship in 5th. Genesis in 6th from up 36, followed by another Genesis, Sweaty Keg in 7th. Alpha 4C for Toby in 8th. Genesis, it is in 9th. It's got best boot on it, that has. Whoa, Donkey Chong going wide through there. Don't think there was any contact. Maybe just taking avoidant action, but it's cost him a position or two. Driving off track so early on. There is Hirakram in 14th, a long way down. Hirakram and Faithless Emo have a bit of a coming together maybe. Slow them down a little bit. There's a little bit of damage on the side of Faithless Emo's car. Let's just have a quick browse at that. Yeah, the rear quarter, just next to the McRib. Let's just have a look at Hirakram. Has he got a little bit of damage on this thing? Not that I can see. They are both pretty slow compared to everyone else, so we'll see. The spaceship starts to disappear then. 1.8 seconds lead as they head up this long straight. Is it 200R, 130R? I forget which one's which here. Fast corner though. This is where we go, heading down towards that chicane. Oh, the back lights up for Marshall as he gets the wheels. Oh no, there's another one in the background. Janio does the same thing, but actually gets cleared up and into the wall he goes. Big amounts of damage on the front of that. It is the damage will repair itself, but it'll make that car run a bit slow for a few corners. That's everybody past him. Faithless Emo not as clean as he'd like, but Janio coming back at him for that last place. He's got the inside line as well, but McLaren almost got him. Tries to get him under braking, but he's had to take avoiding action and go off track there. So it is still Marshall leading by 1.9 seconds. Spaceship in second for rd3. He's got a few cars behind him. Mutt 36, P-Gib, Toby. GTP Toby, sorry. Golden Brownie. JRC. Sweaty Kegs got himself half a second penalty here. Down towards this tricky hairpin. Let's get ourselves a little bit of better view than cockpit view. You can't see a damn thing in this cockpit. Into this hairpin then they go. Nobody's spinning round. This is 130R down towards Spoon. Again, double apexed hairpin this one. Catch the first apex, run it out wide to the outside of this turn, cut back in. Whoa! Is that Golden Brownie? It is. Wasn't sure if that's Golden Brownie or Donkey Chong. They got the same card, slightly different colour. Penalties all over the place here though. Let's see how much time they lose from just half a second. Down towards this chicane again. Cleanly through there for Dark Clark. On the hunt he goes. So he's come from the back, Dark Clark. He's already through to 6th position. JRC, P-Gib, Mutt 36, Rick 33 and Marshall in front of him. Can he get 2 wins out of 2 tonight? GTP Toby in 7th position. Phil in 8th. Oh no, Sweaty Keg goes off track through there. He's pushed it far too hot around turn 1. Off track he goes. Back on though into 12th. Oof, there's Golden Brownie light in the rears up through there as well. Janio in 14th. Faithless Emo drops to 15th. Falls off the back of Janio a little bit there as well. Looking good so far, Marshall. 5 minutes and 20 seconds in. Holding his own. That will all change when you start to see Hirakram's, your Dark Clarks come through, your Donkey Chongs. Once they can get through the field, they'll be able to put some stomping laps in. Probably close up on the majority of these drivers. We'll see though. Rick 33 expecting the rain already. wiper blade going crazy on the front of that Citroen. But 36 in the Genesis in 3rd place, P. Gibb in 4th, so he has lost another position there, P. Gibb. Doing all right though, 4th position, 5th for JRC. Back onto this long back straight. Really don't get a good view out of those Citroens, do you? Have to back off coming into 200R, otherwise you get pushed off the circuit, just as Mutt 36 has done. And that's the AstroTurf is where it catches you out. What a move by JRC Racing, straight up the inside of P. Gibb, coming into the chicane, left the door far too wide open there, P. Gibb. JRC goes through then, P. Gibb drops to 5th, Dark Clark now tucked right behind him, dragging GTP Toby along for the ride. Dark Clark not able to go for the move on P. Gibb then. Through the S's. Awful off-camber turns. I mean, great track design, but yeah, just everything about this track just wants to push you off. What a move again, just gets a wing up the inside of P. Gibb there. Down towards the Degners. Goes a little bit defensive as GTP Toby's attack, who does go flying through there. Loses a position then, Dark Clark. Down towards the hairpin they go. And now the Alpha looking to drive around the outside of the McLaren. It's got a good exit as well. They'll have the inside advantage coming through 130R. Unfortunately, that leaves the door wide open for Dark Clark to stick a wing up the inside as well. Can he carry the speed through to get past P. Gibb before they hit Spoon? He does just squeeze himself into the gap between Toby and P. Gibb. Great exit out of that turn as well, all over the back of GTP Toby. Makes a slight mistake on the exit of that turn. So from 6th to 7th, and then from 7th to 5th for Dark Clark. Still within grabbing distance of JRC Racing, Mutt 36 as well. Marshall and Rick 33 not too far ahead of these two. So Marshall loses that lead then to the other spaceship of Rick 33 up front. Well, Marshall found himself with a half a second penalty as well. That's going to cost him. Everyone peels over to that right hand side then, using JRC's slipstream to their advantage. Mutt 36 having a little look at that around the outside at turn 1. Dark Clark 5th then, Toby 6th, Hirokram in 7th, P. Gibb T50 Phil in 8th, P. Gibb in 9th, Donkey Chong 10th, LFC Fan in 11th, got Sweaty Keg in 12th, Golden Brownie 13th, Faithless Emo 14th, and Janio 15th. Are we going to see Faithless Emo with even more minus points next week because he's decided to swap both cars again? It's a possibility. He's not gone on well tonight. Not too bad in the Hyundai, I will say. Considering it in the chat, he was saying it's his first time driving it. But he's not getting on too well in this McLaren. Where is he? 14th. Being harassed by Janio currently. So back to the front then, Rick 33 maintains that 1.5 second lead over Marshall. Marshall's about to lose this penalty up this back straight. He's got 1.2 seconds ahead of JRC Racing, but I can imagine JRC Racing is going to be looking to overtake him by the time they hit 200R at the top. So loses way more than half a second. still will be carrying better speed than Marshall into the chicane as well, right up his rear end. Whoa, tried to go around the outside. Toby dipped 2 wheels on the grass, spun that car around, unfortunately. Drops from 6th to 11th. Again, that chicane just catching him out. Hurricane starting to close up on that top pile of drivers then. Mutt 36 in 6th, T50 Phil in 7th. Genesis versus Genesis. Not sure if there's a little bit of contact there between T50 Phil and Mutt. Not sure, but Mutt went a little bit wide through there. Pete Gibb in 8th now. LFC fan right behind him, almost pushing him around the circuit. He's actually got himself back past Donkey Chong here. Chong in 10th. Toby. Oh no! Toby's off in the McLaren. Sorry, it's Pete Gibb off in the McLaren. Why do I keep flicking it, thinking it's GTP Toby when it's not? It's Pete Gibb. It's Pete Gibb in the McLaren, off track, being harassed now by Golden Brownie in 12th in the Alpha 4C. Sweaty Keg's got it wrong somewhere as well. Drops to 13th. Faithless Emo still in a bit of a battle here for this last place with Janio. That might just continue on to the end of this race as well. Open up a little bit here for rd3. Marshall, it's been a little bit of a cork in the bottle. JLC Racing's just managed to squeeze through. Oh, wheels on the AstroTurf, that's not good. Can he defend from Dark Clark and Hirakram coming up the hill? On board with Hirakram in his spaceship's cockpit. 4 Citrons, absolutely nothing in it between them apart from driver skill. Side by side for Hirakram and Dark Clark through the chicane. Dark Clark just squeezes his way in front. Can Hirakram use the slipstream to get back past into turn 1? No, we can't. A pair of them have lost a little bit of time to those 2 drivers in front. Excuse me. Well, that's been happening. rd3 continues to pull away a little bit. 2.7 seconds from JLC Racing now. We'll see if he can start breaking the gap between him and Marshall, and also bring that time down between rd3. We'll see. Another little bit of clear air at the minute, Marshall, with Dark Clark and Hirakram still battling it out. Through Degna 1 into Degna 2, also a pair of tricky corners. Too much power on the exit and you're in the gravel. Through the right, down towards the hairpin. Dark Clark just putting that Citroen right in the middle of the circuit, making it visibly obvious to Hirakram that he knows he's there. Two of the faster drivers in this lobby battling it out currently then. Only for 4th and 5th though at the moment. Bringing that time back down between themselves and Marshall. A little bit further back than they were on this previous lap, so not looking like they're going to get the move done on Marshall this time either. Does Hirakram have another go back at Dark Clark into the chicane? Not close enough, I don't think. Doesn't even think about sticking a wing up the inside through there. T50 Phil then, sitting in 6th, Donkey Chong 7th. LFC fan in 8th. GTP Toby 9th. P Gibb in 10th. Some big old gaps at the back of this field now. Golden Brownie in 11th. Sweaty Keg in 12th, Faithless Emo 13th, Janio 14th, and now Mutt 36 in 15th place. So he's been in the pits and picked up a fresh set of tyres. Pretty much the halfway point. Rick 33 still expecting rain. I think that's been every week so far, Rick. Loses a bit of that lead though. JRC Racing is chopping into that now. 1.5 seconds the gap as they hit the hairpin. Dark Clock and Hirokram both past Marshall now, so they're going to be on the chase again now for JRC Racing and Rick 33. It's getting a little bit thick here. I wonder if the weather's going to hit. I wonder if we do see a little bit of rain in this second half of the race. It's looking a bit misty. Still a bit of blue sky though, so not too bad at the minute. Does look like it's getting a bit darker though. Could well see some rain here. Another 2/10 out of Rick 33's time. Time those two Citroens getting ever bigger, looming in the rearview mirror. Currently 2.2 seconds back. Drag race for those two down towards turn 1. Hirokram and Dark Clark. Dark Clark peels right over to the inside, trying to avoid giving a toe to Hirokram. Stop him going for the slingshot past him into turn 1, and he holds on to that third for the time being. Another couple of tenths out of this lead time as well here, down to 1.2. Did you see it to flick to 1.1? So let's see where everybody else is then. Dark Clark holding on to that third. Hirokram 4th. Marshall still 5th. T50 Phil in 6th. Donkey Chong 7th, got GTP Toby in 8th, P Gib 9th, but he's got himself a half a second penalty. LFC Fan in 10th, Golden Brownie 11th, got Sweaty Keg in 12th, Faithless Emo 13th, still just ahead of Janio in 14th, and Mutt 36, who's been in the pits for a fresh set of tyres. Well, they're all getting closer. There's just 3 seconds now between the top 4. So we're on board with 4th place man Hirokram, looking at Dark Clark, JRC and Rick 33. 3rd, 2nd and 1st on screen. And we've got just under a second between them. Gets a bit squidgy through there for Hirokram. Doesn't lose any time to Dark Clark though, really. Still just half a second deficit to him. There's Marshall now nearly 3 seconds behind these boys, carrying good speed then. Can they close up and take JRC and Rick 33? 20 minutes into race 2, 10 minutes remaining. It is Citroen 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we've got Rick 33 up front in a spaceship, JRC in a spaceship, Dark Clark spaceship, Hirokram spaceship, Marshall spaceship, GTP Toby not a spaceship, T50 Phil not a spaceship, P Gib not a spaceship, followed by LFC Fan in a spaceship, Golden Brownie, not a spaceship. Donkey, Sweaty Keg, not a spaceship. Donkey Chong, not a spaceship. Janio is a spaceship. Oh! No. No idea. Donkey Chong wasn't travelling too quick through... wasn't travelling too fast through there, and Faithless Emo, Mutt36, tried to get past him. And ended up, I think, just clipping a wing and sending him onto the gravel. So I'm not too sure. Yeah, something must have happened prior to that, because obviously Donkey Chong was travelling a little bit slow. It wasn't a penalty because it's here. Unless it was a penalty, and it was a different angle I wasn't quite seeing. Heracram's made a little bit of a mistake. 2 seconds behind. Tyre wear starting to show up. His front right a little bit broken actually compared to Dark Clark's in front. His overall tyre wear is a little bit more than Dark Clark's as well. Might have just caught him out. JRC Racing's wear is a little bit more than Dark Clark's as well. He is tucked right under the rear wing of rd3 though. Still not able to get past him on that start-finish straight. Coming into the S's as well. Tricky part to overtake. That's almost impossible through here. Well, see Donkey Chong in the chat. We'll see. So nobody really piling the pressure on. Dark Clark is getting ever closer to JRC Racing. JRC Racing still hasn't quite managed to find his way past rd3. Taking tenths out of JRC Racing's time, corner after corner. Very, very close between them. Heracram starting to make up a little bit more time on those 3 in front. That little mistake just costing him. 7 minutes of race 2 left as well. Running out of time then, Heracram. Oh, Marshall, get on the grey stuff, not the green stuff. Get the green stuff after the race if you want. It's entirely up to you. Whoa, Toby goes deep through there as well. That AstroTurf, not the best place to be. I mean, it is dry today at the moment. But if there's any kind of wetness on that AstroTurf, that would be a little bit of an excursion into the armour coat. Toby looking a little bit threatening on Marshall here. Sling one up the inside, or Marshall giving him plenty of room as Toby slots one up the inside coming into this final chicane. He gets his way through to 5th, Marshall 6th then, T50 Phil 7th, P Gib 8th, NFC Fan in 9th, we've got Golden Brownie in 10th, Sweaty Keg 11th, Faithless Emo 12th, Mutt36 in 13th, Janio 14th, and we have lost a Donk of the Chongs. Okay, so JRC Racing has managed to find his way past rd3 along that start-finish straight. Look how close Dark Clark is. He's just waiting for an opportunity and he'll sneak his way past, no doubt. It's got to be quick though, because they will be closed up by Heracram if they're not careful. And he will also seize any opportunity given to him. Sling one up the inside if he needs to. Dark Clark will be wanting to get past. Oh, apologies, I've gone too far. Dark Clark will be desperate to get past rd3. Can he get him on the run down to... Oh, JRC Racing goes a bit deep through there. Can he get him on the run down to the Spoon corner through 130R? Absolutely full tilt. 33 making that Citroen as big as it needs to be. Still not quite able to get one up the inside. go for a better exit through here and try and carry the speed up towards 200R. Lobby glitches still affecting us though. Starts pulling in rd3. Unfortunately, rd3 has now picked up a little bit of a toe from JRC Racing, so the advantage not as much as it could be. They are still pulling time on Hirakram though. I think that tyre wear on the front right is catching them out, especially through corners like Spoon. You've got to try and carry as much speed as possible. Great exit there for Dark Clark versus rd3. Unfortunately, rd3 is just picking up that toe off of JRC Racing. Dark Clark isn't. Decides not to sling one up the inside at turn 1. I've got 3.5 minutes remaining of race 2. Who's going to come out on top here? JRC, rd3, Dark Clark. I mean, Hirakram's not fully out of it yet. He is only 2 seconds behind. Any mistakes from these boys and he'll be right back involved. Goes for a sneaky little look up the inside there, Dark Clark. Down towards Degner again then. Nobody putting a foot wrong at the minute. JRC holding his own. rd3 keeping him right there. Dark Clark not able to use his magic and get past either of them. Again, both drivers a good exit through there. He's been so close on many an occasion as Dark Clark, but it's just not worked out for him at the minute. This time he goes for it. Hard on the brakes as he comes into the first part of Spoon. Gets the position. He's only 0.7 of a second behind JRC Racing. Chase still on here then. rd3 getting the slipstream, coming back up the hill towards 200R. As I think about it, coming into 200R, a little bit too far back this time. A little bit too close to the corner to actually make the move before we got to the turn. So this will become last lap. It's all or nothing now for all of these drivers. And just remember, Dark Clark came from the back, started, he won the last race, so reverse grid puts him at the back and he's managed to fight his way all the way through to second. Currently he's only half a second behind JRC. Rick in third, Hirakram fourth, GTP Toby in fifth. He's had a decent race in race 2. Marshall in sixth. Again, not too bad of a race, led this one. He's only fallen to 6th and only to those faster drivers in the lobby. T50 Phil in 7th, LFC Fan in 8th, P Gib 9th. We've got Golden Brownie in 10th, Sweaty Keg 11th, Faithless Emo 12th, Muck 36 in 13th, Janio in 14th, and we have lost a Donkey Chong through Degner 1, through Degner 2. Bumper to bumper heading down here. Dark Clark gets a wing up the inside through the left-hander heading, the right-hander heading towards the hairpin. Cuts back up the inside of the hairpin. Is it going to be enough to chase down JRC? rd3 not quite involved in this one. JRC knows exactly where he needs to stick that car. He's going to make Dark Clark look for it around the outside. Tries to outbrake him. Oh, a little bit of contact between the two of them. Still lobby glitching all over the place. Brings rd3 right back into the equation here. Again, JRC Racing putting that car right on the inside line, making Dark Clark go around the outside if he wants this one. Still pretty much side by side through there. It's down towards the chicane then. Last couple of corners. Who's got the metal through here? Who gets the power on? Who spins the rears up? Wow, Dark Clark spins the rears up. Not too much. It is going to be JRC though. He carries the speed through there. He is going to take the win in race 2. Great bit of driving from him. Dark Clark takes second. rd3 comes home in third. Hirokram takes fourth. Oh, Toby taking fifth. Marshall comes home in sixth. T50 Phil takes 7th position. LFC Fan in 8th. We've got P-Gib taking 9th. Golden Brownie taking 10th. Sweaty Keg 11th. Faithless Emo through in 12th position. He goes. Mud36 will take 13th. Janio's not too far behind him, just 3.4 seconds. There goes Mutt then to take 13th. Oh, where's he gone? And there is Janio, just caught him crossing the line in 14th. Yeah, lobby still not great. There we go, race 2 of 2. YTJRC Racing, and you as well. You'll have to give me your YouTube, and we'll figure out how to link all this stuff together somehow, so you know people can see it all. I know you can do it, but I don't know how. There we go. GTTCC round 3 of season 23 done and dusted. Back again same time same place for round 4 next week. I am back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for more ring calf action. Slightly different this week, so obviously with the update there's been a new car, the Porsche, what is it, 992 or something. Hold on a second, let me just pull that out. That sounded a bit wrong, didn't it? Let me just whip this out. What did he say? The 992 GT3R has come out, so it's going to be that car and that car only for ring calf tomorrow night. So if you're expecting to see the BMW boys or any of the other cars, nope. They're doing a special event, if you like, for the release of this car, so everyone's going to be in the Porsche 992 tomorrow night at ring calf. So that's going to be at 8 o'clock, usually between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock depending on the format. And then Sunday night 9 o'clock we return for the next round of the Super Formulas with P1 boys. So Friday night 9 o'clock, Saturday night 8 o'clock, and Sunday night 9 o'clock. That's what we've got coming up. Don't forget. But that's going to be it from me tonight, people. I hope you've liked what you've watched. If you have, click all the buttons, do all the things. Most of all, tell your mates, tell your mums. My name's Dark Smoker. I'm out of here.